Can you talk about adults? How often women set men up to be either robbed or murdered?
Um, oh, you do? Oh, okay, okay. Man, that's a good one. It happens a lot. It happens a lot. Plenty of cases. I had one case. I remember a guy was at a club, and he had jewelry. He had the jewelry on, flashy. You know, Atlanta's big on the flashiness. That's the thing. And I guess he met a chick that was in the club. She acted like she was interested. That chick was like, "Yo, I got a homegirl, whatever. I think she really be feeling you." He's like, "Okay, bet. Tell her to come through." So at the club, the shorty come through. They're both dancing, having a good time, right? So they like, "Yo, you know, you want to get away from here? You know, what's up? Let's do something." So brother thought he was finna hit the 2-for-1 special, right? So he goes across the street where there's a hotel. There's a hotel. It's right off of Panola Road. I'll never forget. And he calls the police. I show up. He's outside in his underwear on, right? And he's flagging me down, officer, officer. I'm like, I pull up, I'm like, what the hell? I said, damn, what the hell happened? I get out, he said, man, they just got me. I said, what happened, bro? What happened? He tells me the story. He brings the two girls home to the hotel, and they're making out or whatever. One of the girls like, yo, have you ever made out in the shower? And he's like, nah. She's like, all right, come on to the back. So she goes to the back with him. They're making out in the shower. And all of a sudden, the second girl in the bedroom unlocks the door. 3 guys come in, and then the girl in the bathroom comes out. She grabs her stuff. They grab their stuff. They walk out, and the guy's like, give me everything. Took all his jewelry, took his car, took his clothes, took his wedding ring. So then now, so he's like, officer, you know, my wife is going to show up. Can you tell her that I just got robbed? Sir, I'm going to tell her you was out here tricking off, and they got you. That's what I'm going to tell her. You know, I don't support that. You know what I mean? So, but, you know, that happens, man. It happens a lot. I've had chicks who've been shot trying to set up licks, you know, and having to go to the hospital to interview them. And whereas the guy they were trying to rob or set the lick up on, he pulled his pistol out before they could pull theirs out. And they get into a shootout, and then the stripper got caught in the crossfire. Man, it's a regular thing. And it happens in Atlanta all the time. The reason why sometimes it gets underreported, a lot of these guys are criminals. A lot of times they might be drug dealers and things like that. So they don't want to, quote unquote, snitch. So a lot of times we show up, and they're like, nah, I don't remember nothing. Be like, cool, have a good day. Here's your case number. And we, you know, as long as innocent people don't get caught up in all that, man, we could care less when these guys get to blasting each other away, you know. So, but yeah, it happens often. I had another case where I was part of a burglary task force, and we had a situation where this chick, these guys kept calling like in the same neighborhood about their house being broken into, their apartments being broken into. So I come in and do the work, and they'd be like, yeah, and they stole my 50-inch TV or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And I would know the TV's stolen because anytime, or they bought it stolen because they don't ever have the original remote control. That's always like the telltale sign. I was like, okay, you got the serial number? And they're like, yeah, some guys didn't. So over 4 apartments I'd investigate. And I was like, man, this same 50-inch TV keep getting stolen. I said, what the hell? This don't make any sense. And one guy was like, I started putting 2 and 2 together because some of the serial numbers are the same. So I'm like, what the hell? Hold on. How's the same TV in this apartment, that apartment, that apartment? I said, all right, something's off. So I said, hey man, just tell me how your day went. What something new that you did, something out of the ordinary? He's like, man, there was this chick I met, man, and she was acting real funny. I brought her over, man. We kind of messed around. And then now I've been trying to reach her to hang. She don't answer my calls no more. And I said, okay. And I said, you know what she looked like? And he kind of described her. So then I went and asked the other guys. And they're like, yeah, there was a chick I met. You know, one of these chicks, for these guys, you know, to the guys listening, don't pick up any of these bottom feeders out here walking the street walkers. You know what I'm saying? Like you see them, yeah, you see them looking good in these nice little outfits. A lot of times that's advertisement. They're trying to actually fish and, you know, pick up a dude because guys are going to stop and try to holler. So she's walked through the neighborhood, right? So everybody, all these guys had in common was this one chick. And they were like, yeah, there was a chick. She did look like this. She did have this kind of tattoo. I was like, have you talked to her since? Nah, you know, I can't reach her or whatever. And I was like, well, did you ever bring her inside? He's like, yeah, you know, I brought her inside or whatever. And he's like, okay, cool. So then I'm like, all right, there's a chick that's connected to these burglaries. So my thing is like now, not only are they connected to this burglary, for some reason this TV is making its rounds in the neighborhood. So I'm like, that's weird. I said, where'd you buy the TV from? A friend of his barber shop or whatever. It was a guy sold it to me. He's driving this red caddy. I was like, okay, cool. So then I set up a little operation with my coworkers. I had them sitting at that barbershop. Sure enough, red caddies up there, right? And so we were undercover doing a little whatever, go, oh, yeah, I'm selling some stuff. He's selling stolen goods out of his trunk. What's in there? That TV that's been stolen over 6 times, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm looking around. Oh, what you got? What you got? Nah, I'm good. I don't want none of that. He's like, all right, cool, or whatever. So then I get his license plate, get his information. We keep it moving. See the girl in the neighborhood, end up picking her up, right? Come to find out what she was doing was she would walk around to try and basically advertise, get that attention for the men. Then she would get inside their home, look at what they have, and report back to her boyfriend. Her boyfriend and her friend will go in there and then hit the apartment and steal the stuff that they have in there. The first TV came from another apartment, and then he goes back and he sells it in the same community to somebody else. And the next you know, the cycle kind of repeats itself. And but yeah, they use women as a way to set up licks because guys are so thirsty a lot of times that they're just looking at the chick, and that chick is looking at what they have, and then ultimately they report that back. So, you know, I tell fellas all the time, you got to be mindful what you pick up out here.
What advice would you give the men to stay safe going out?
They got to be diligent. Stop chasing ass. Like, the whole thing is, like, be intentional. If you're really trying to holler at a chick, take your time to get to know her. Like, it sounds corny, but the reality is these chicks they'll have you upside down out here. And not only that, they can change stories, flip stories, and it be their word against yours. And next, you know, you're fighting for your freedom because somebody, you know, kind of embellished the story or told some lie. The majority of cases that I've seen where men are talking about they're innocent and that a woman lied on them about being sexually assaulted, these men were picking chicks up in bars, right? And so, and you just look at a lot of these cases, not to say, you know, the guy would be like, nah, you know, she was cool, you know, this is what she wanted, we agreed or whatever, and then they have a change of heart. But my thing is, take your time to vet. Stop bringing women to your house on the first night, you know, on some, you know, sometimes things are too good to be true. And that's just the reality of it. I don't trust women like that. I got to make sure they got a job, make sure they're stable, make sure they're adults, and make sure they have something to lose. When you're dealing with chicks who don't have nothing going for themselves, you open yourself up for a liability. You know what I mean? Like, if she don't have her own, she not situated, she don't got a good job, something that she's at risk of losing if she come out here and do something silly, then it's a waste of time. But, you know, stop looking at women just through that lens of smashing, because then she could smash your whole damn empire, you know, with the snap of her finger. So, you know, you just got to be careful.